In today's recap, Whitaker, an experienced and yet a troubled pilot, wakes up in a hotel room after a night of heavy drinking, drugs, and sex with a flight attendant named Katerina Marquez. Whip's phone rings, and he receives a call from his ex-wife, Deana, who wants to discuss their son's education. Unwilling to discuss it, he brushes off the conversation and promises to talk about it on his return. Struggling to shake off his hangover, Whip snorts cocaine to wake himself up before heading to the airport. At the airport, Whip does a quick inspection of the plane and meets his co-pilot, Ken Evans. Ken seems apprehensive about Whip's condition but goes along with his claim of being fit to fly. As the plane takes off through heavy rain, Whip pushes it to find a break in the storm. He asks Ken to inform the ATC of their intention to divert slightly from the path due to the weather. Once he finds a clear path, he manages to stabilize the plane, causing the passengers to applaud. In a small town, a prostitute named Nicole buys heroin from her drug dealer. She refuses to participate in a porn film being shot at his place and leaves. Back at her apartment, she overdoses on the drugs and passes out. Shortly after the plane has stabilized, Whip apologizes to the passengers for the rough ride, covertly pouring mini vodka bottles into his orange juice. After disposing of the bottles, Whip returns to the cockpit and hands control over to Ken before taking a nap. During the flight, Whip sleeps in his chair while Ken monitors the plane. Margaret, a flight attendant, notices Whip's ability to sleep and remarks on it to Ken. Suddenly, the plane experiences a jolt and goes into an uncontrolled dive. Whip suddenly wakes up and tries various maneuvers to regain control, including rolling the plane upside down to buy time. While the plane is going through this strange dive, the cabin crew act heroically helping passengers. With the help of Ken and Margaret, Whip brings the plane back to its original position, but no matter the efforts of the crew, however, the plane crashes into a field near a church, causing casualties among the passengers and crew. Whip gains consciousness to see himself being brought out of the plane, but soon loses consciousness again. He wakes up in a hospital, where his friend Charlie informs him that there were 6 deaths, including Camila and Katerina and 4 passengers. Harling Mays, an acquaintance, visits Whip and provides him with items and cigarettes. He also mentions the media attention surrounding Whip's heroics during the crash. In the hospital stairwell, Whip encounters Nicole and a cancer patient named Mark. They discuss fate and whether disasters can be prevented. Whip asks Nicole to meet him after they are discharged from the hospital. When Whip is released, Harling discreetly guides him through a back exit of the hospital to evade the press gathering at the front. Aware of this, Harling drives him to his late father's rustic farmhouse located in the countryside. As they explore the house, Whip discovers an assortment of alcoholic beverages and some drugs scattered throughout the premises, which he proceeds to dispose of. If you're enjoying the video thus far, kindly like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's continue. Whip receives a call from Charlie, who informs him about potential charges of manslaughter, jail time, and loss of his pilot's license. He then spirals further into alcoholism and heads to look for Nicole using the address she gave him. Upon reaching her house, he saw a scuffle between Nicole and her landlord. On asking the cause, he realizes Nicole's rent is due and promises the landlord to help her pay. Nicole suggests to Whip to attend Alcoholics Anonymous with her, but he struggles with it. Their relationship becomes strained, and Nicole eventually leaves him. Whip's ex-wife and son refuse to let him into their lives, causing Whip into a more heavy drinking. Charlie and Hugh, his lawyer, become concerned about Whip's behavior affecting the case. They prepare him for a hearing with Ellen Block, the investigator for the National Transportation Safety Board (NTSB). Whip pays a visit to Ken at the hospital, where they engage in a conversation. Ken reveals that he hasn't disclosed his doubts about Whip's condition during the crash to the NTSB, the authority responsible for investigating the incident. Ken possesses the same knowledge as Margaret, Whip was suffering from a hangover while in the cockpit, and there's a possibility he was intoxicated when the accident happened. Despite facing the grim reality of potentially never walking again, Ken and his wife perceive their survival as a miraculous event. Firmly rooted in their religious beliefs, the couple insists that Whip joins them in prayer, to which Whip reluctantly acquiesces. In the upcoming days, Whip persists in evading the media, yet he gradually becomes aware of the potential harm to his reputation caused by those who were present during the incident. During Katerina's funeral, a chance encounter introduces Whip to Margaret, who asserts that she detected signs of intoxication when she encountered him earlier that morning. At this point, Whip begins to delve into personal matters, arguing that were it not for his intervention, Margaret's life could have taken a fatal turn as well. The night before the hearing, Whip finds alcohol in a neighboring hotel room and relapses. He shows up to the hearing intoxicated, where it is revealed that the accident was caused by an unrepaired jackscrew in the tail section, which had sustained damage several years prior. This malfunction caused the tail stabilizer to forcefully descend, leading to the dive. However, when evidence of empty liquor bottles is presented, Whip confesses to his alcoholism and drug use. Whip is sentenced to prison but manages to turn his life around. After 13 months, he becomes clean and rebuilds his relationship with his ex-wife and son. His son visits him in prison to interview him for a school project, symbolizing their reconciliation and hope for a better future. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, kindly like, leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss any video. See you in our next video.